Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to talk once again about Queen Charge LaLo, but this time we want to rewatch and learn from the best German player. And well, it shows that he's in the #1 spot right now in Germany, and he is even really high up there in the global leaderboard. Right now, #7. When I recorded the German video, he was #6, and well, he attacked quite some bases and shared the replays for us, and we want to take a look at those. And well, there are a couple of familiar bases in there. Those are the replays we're going to show, and the first one is going to be against the current #1 guy. You guys can see it right now. He is in the #1 spot, or like he still was, I don't know, like Hoa, I think. And well, yep, he's still he was the #1. And let's take a look at not only his base, but as well on how to wreck his base. So let's see. BuMm is using currently this army composition. I showed it in the beginning on the screen. And this Queen Charge LaLo, that's what he's running. And he has great success with it. I mean, the current standings are showing it. And the goal pretty much for this attack, and one of the most important things about this attack, is the funneling. The reason for that is, well, it's kind of simple, because you do not have too much funnel troops with you. You have only a couple of wizards, which you can see right now. It's not only not only getting used for funneling, it's getting used for killing the enemy lava hound, for example, as well. You can use it wherever you want, basically. But what you will see over this video is that BuMm won't funnel one side at all, but he will use the king to funnel the other side. You will see, once again, this side is not funneled, but he will use his king on this side to like get his queen inside and actually get the value he wants her to get. Now he's using a couple of wall breakers to get her actually inside. The first one was just like a test wall breaker. Already opened up the wall because of the rage, but still, nonetheless, it's looking good so far. He needs to get rid of the arch tower on the right side. He's using a freeze for the enemy king, and so far everything's looking really good. Once again, open up a lot of compartments, and this means his queen can enter the core. Another thing is that, which is different, you need to know when to stop supporting your queen. For example, I would probably would have tried to put another queen, like another rage onto the queen, but BuMm is saying, okay, this is a really nice value of my queen charge. I got a lot of healers already killed, which means another rage on my queen would be kind of wasted, and this is why he's supporting it with his LaLo, even though the sweeper is on this side. I maybe would have started with the LaLo from this side, but BuMm is coming in from the top, supporting his queen to actually stay alive and get all the value he wants her to get. The next thing is that his LaLo is splitting up, getting away with the town hall, and with the town hall going down, he still has his slammer up, open and deploy even more loons, and he still has this haste up to get all of his loons in the back end. And now another thing is spell deployment, because you do not have like so many spells overall, or like so many spells for your LaLo, and this is why you need to place them perfectly. The perfect way is to like overlap the defense where they are going to a little bit. What this causes is that if the balloons are standing over here, they're still affected by the haste bow, which means if they're going to the next defense, which is the cannon, they're still hasted, like from this to this, or like overall in this shape, they're still hasted. You will see in a second. You see, they're going hasted to the air defense, and now on the cannon, because this time the haste spell is not overlapping, from the cannon they're not getting hasted away. So that's super important to perfectly time your haste spells on this one, so your loons are going as fast as possible through the base. And you see, once again, they're hasted from like the expo up to this point, even though the haste spell is like way far on the left side, but still, because the effect of the haste spell is like delayed, or like getting is longer than the haste spell area in the end. So that's important to note. Let's take a look at another base, and well, this is one of the most favorite bases in the top 30, he says. So once again, you can copy pretty much any of those bases because they should be pretty good. Most of his opponents are up there, so those bases has to be useful basically. And this is going to be another charge. What he's trying to do, he's trying to wall break in here so he can get rid of the town hall and a couple of air defenses and obviously the enemy queen, because that's one of the most important things you have to go for, enemy queen. And if you can get rid of the town hall, that's really valuable as well, because you are free to use your warden ability whenever you want. Another thing is that you need to funnel perfectly. Once again, he's using only one wizard to create pretty much a perfect funnel. On the other side, he used the king, but that's already enough to get his queen inside. Even though the air defense is on his healers, he can use a freeze for that, which means he only loses one healer. From this point on, he still has 4 healers left, but the rage is placed perfectly, so all of his his queen is still inside. And let's see what he's doing next. Normally what you try to do is walk your queen down here and let her break this wall so she can get rid of all of those things like the sweepers, the multi-inferno tower and the core. But well, this time the queen doesn't want to go to the wizard tower, and this is why she's going to the wall. This is not planned like normally. Like I said, normally the plan is to go like this and to the multi-inferno tower. That's what she's normally doing. Not this time, sadly, and this means the queen is stuck on the wall, is going through the wall, and now he's doing a really clever move because he's breaking the next wall with his slammer. He could have used wall breakers as well, but for wall breakers coming through, he would have needed to use the freeze spell as well, which is kind of wasted in that sense. The slammer is opening up a lot of compartments so his queen can reach a lot of things. The baby dragon is getting killed immediately by his queen, and now his queen is getting closer to the enemy hound, which is getting lured. But meanwhile, all of his loons are getting into the back end of the base, which means this eagle is destroyed immediately, and we have the loons in the core. And normally you try to dodge the core when it's coming down to loons, because exactly that is happening, what happened to his loons right now. There are so many red mines in there, and the multi-inferno tower itself, it's super annoying for loons to go through there. So it's like, try to dodge this area with your loons. Really nice warden ability over the last couple of defenses, and this means this is going to be another triple for BuMm. Really nicely done by him, and this shows how strong this attack strategy actually is if the correct player is using it. So let's get to the next attack, which is going to be like a new anti 3-star base, but like he's overkilling it easily. And you guys can see already, like we see a lot of, a mix of anti-2 and anti-3. The first base of the number 1 player was clearly an anti-2-star base. I might copy it for my own one, let's see. But we see that it's getting mixed up a lot at the top. A couple of anti-3, a couple of hybrid bases, a couple of anti-2-star bases. So there's not like just one way on how to do it. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see this attack. Like I said, against the anti-3-star base, he took his time to think about it. He's using 2 loons to help the funnel, which is already kind of surprising because normally he's only using a couple of wizards, like maybe 1 wizard at all. Now, once again, one side barely funneled with a couple of troops, and the other side hard funneled with his king going down the lane. And then we have our queen in the middle trying to charge into the base. We have a couple of barbarians helping her out. She still has the rage on her, and this means she can easily take out the enemy CC, the enemy AD, which was really important because otherwise all of his healers would have died. And now, really nice poison. That's another thing which a lot of players do not really understand. You can place your poison so freaking early if your queen is raged, because the queen is for a max loon, she needs, a couple of seconds in a rage. The most important thing is all about the pups, so place your poison early, because it takes, the poison is there for a while, so you can use it early. That's no problem at all. So he's charging in, looking really good so far, and now the big problem of this base is actually the Inferno Tower and the queen, because you can reach both from the tunnel compartment, like the area over there, which is in the end the downfall of this base. I don't know if he even planned for the enemy queen at this point, which is kind of interesting. I think what he normally goes for is the town hall, and then the enemy queen is like, if he's getting the enemy queen as well, that's good as well. But the nice thing about LaLo is that even if you do not get the queen with your queen charge, the pups still have a chance to get rid of that, and that's a really important thing and a really big advantage over, for example, queen charge Hawk Riders, because if you do not get the enemy queen with your queen charge, you're doomed, you're done, like the attack is basically over. And that's the big difference with queen charge LaLo, because if you might not get the enemy queen, the pups still might get her, and that's, like I said, a big difference and a big reason why LaLo is so much stronger than Hawk Riders, for example. And this is going to be a really nice overkill once again. Nicely done by BuMm. He isn't, like, I think he didn't use a single wall breaker in this one, like, effectively. But still, nice attack. And let's take a look. I think it's the last replay. Here we go. And this is a base we used in Worlds. And once again, if you guys want to use our bases, we shared quite some on, I shared quite some of them on YouTube. We shared quite some of them on Twitter. If you want to use those bases, take a look at those platforms, because just copying the layout isn't doing anything for you. We took around about 2 months to actually place those traps perfectly. And this queen charge, which BuMm is doing right now, will never ever work with correct placement of your traps. And I will show you guys in a second why it's not working. So the beginning so far is pretty normal. He's starting off with his queen. Since the base is pretty like, it doesn't really matter where your queen is heading. Like, she could go this way, she could go this way. So this is why he's not going to funnel too early. So he has time with that. And now once again, one side barely funneled, the other side hard funneled with his king once again to get his queen inside of the base. The next thing which he's going to do, obviously dropping the poison, but after that he's trying to wall break into the core, which isn't too easy, but the top players can do this. So first test wall breaker, getting the giant bomb out of the way. The next wall breakers, 2, because 1 is getting killed by the enemy warden. Now a freeze to get his healers, or like to still have his healers alive. And now the next set of wall breakers getting into the base, because he wants to get into the core. And now we're getting closer to the point where I say, okay, this would have not worked with our own traps. The reason for that is basically the setup of this charge, because this charge on its own is, even though it sounds maybe strange for you guys, but it's kind of obvious for those top players charging in there, because you have the town hall and you have, with the correct set of wall breakers, access to the enemy queen. What we have on our normal base is we have a tornado trap placed here, rotating the queen into the enemy queen, which kind of sounds stupid, but over here is a ground skeleton located, which is popping before the enemy queen, like this girl over here, is coming to the enemy queen, which means your own queen will target the ground skeletons. And just to make sure, if that's not enough, we had air skeletons popping over here, because this means the queen would have run for the ground skeletons and then air skeletons, and would have never ever touched the enemy queen, even if you still have your queen ability left. And this is the reason why you should copy bases with traps, otherwise it's pretty useless. So, well, BuMm is working pretty nicely around that, because this guy has, I don't know, I think, or like this girl has his tornado trap up here, I think, and completely swagged because it's in nothing, basically. But yeah, let's see. Slammer still, Slammer is going down right where I'm saying it, and now the LaLo is starting. He's dropping a couple of loons, first hound is flying across, and like I said, the tornado trap is over there. Who is placing a tornado trap next to an air defense? I don't know, but this guy did without, I don't know who's coming in from this direction, or like what is the tornado trap for at this point. But well, let's see. Still, everything is looking good for BuMm. He still has a haste spell left, he still has the warden ability left, looking like a huge overkill. I think all of the traps on this base, or like most of the traps, like red bombs, I don't know, like black bombs, whatever, were at the bottom of the base. and this means this is going to be a crazy overkill from BuMm. Nicely done by him. And well, this was the last attack for today, for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys learned something new about Queen Charge LaLo, but as well how BuMm is attacking. Maybe even a little bit more about baiting attacks and how to defend those, for example, with the small breakdown of the tornado trap into a skeleton trap, etc. But well, that's for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you hopefully back tomorrow.